All right, let's dive into a new idea in quantum physics that is so mind-bending, it could totally rewrite our entire understanding of reality itself. So, it all kicks off with this really simple but kind of profound question. If the multiverse theory is actually true and there are an infinite number of parallel universes out there, why does our reality feel so specific? Why aren't we experiencing all the truly weird, super low probability worlds? This one question, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into. And that whole problem, that gap between a world of infinite possibilities and the stable reality we seem to live in, it really stems from this fascinating and pretty popular theory, the many worlds interpretation. Okay, so the many worlds interpretation, or MWI, is a wild idea. Seriously, it basically says that every single time a quantum event has more than one possible outcome, like an electron spinning up or spinning down, the universe literally splits. So in one universe, it spins up, in another, it spins down. And here's the kicker. Both are equally real. Every single possibility becomes an actuality somewhere out there. Okay, but right away, this throws up a huge puzzle, right? If every single outcome happens, then why do we experience probabilities at all? Why does a simple coin flip feel like it has a 50-50 shot of landing heads or tails? If there's a universe for heads and a universe for tails, the theory itself doesn't tell us why we consistently find ourselves living in worlds that just happen to obey these nice, clean statistical rules. So the way physicists usually deal with this is by using something called the Born Rule, which, to be fair, does a great job of predicting these probabilities. But here's the thing. In the standard many worlds view, the Born Rule isn't baked into the theory. It's often described as an interpretive patch. It's kind of like adding a line of code to a program after the fact to fix a bug. It works, sure, but it feels tacked on. It doesn't really explain why it works. All right, so let's dig into that old view a bit. How did physicists traditionally think about the Born Rule's job in this, infinite multiverse? So the conventional thinking goes something like this. The Born Rule isn't a law for the multiverse itself. It's a law about us. It's a rule of perspective. The idea is that, yeah, all those infinite worlds exist, but the probabilities we see are just a feature of our subjective experience from inside our one little branch. It doesn't govern reality. It just governs our perception of it. But now, there's this new theory that suggests something way more radical. What if the Born Rule isn't about our perspective at all? What if it's about the very fabric of existence? This new view, it paints a completely different picture of everything. And this idea, it's called Superdeterministic Many Worlds. It's a mashup of many worlds with superdeterminism, which is the idea that there's no real randomness, because everything, even our choices, was set in stone by the universe's initial conditions. And when you combine these two ideas, you get a totally revolutionary role for the laws of probability. And this new view just completely flips the script. It says the Born Rule has nothing to do with our subjective experience. Instead, it's a fundamental law of nature that acts like a filter. It literally determines which of the infinite potential universes are physically allowed to exist and which ones are just forbidden. So it's not about perception anymore. It's about existence. Okay, so if the Born Rule is really a cosmic selection law, then how does that even work? I mean, what's the mechanism that's filtering all of reality? Well, the key, according to this theory, is something called hidden variables. Now, in this new theory, these aren't just little bits of information we're missing. Oh, no. They are active, fundamental parts of the universe that predetermine everything. And their main job is to enforce the cosmic rules, and specifically, the Born Rule. You can kind of picture it like this, in 3 simple steps. First, just imagine the multiverse in its raw, unfiltered state, generating every conceivable outcome. Then, step 2, these hidden variables kick in. They act like a kind of cosmic quality control, a filter. And finally, step 3, only the universes that perfectly line up with the statistical predictions of the Born Rule are selected. They get the green light to become physically real. All the rest? They're just discarded. So when you boil it all down, the crucial difference is this. In the old view, the Born Rule is just a patch we use to explain our experience. But in this new view, it's a fundamental law of selection. The old view says it governs what we see. The new view says it governs what can actually be. It takes the Born Rule from being a footnote and makes it the headline. And all of this leaves us with a pretty staggering question to think about. Are we living in just one tiny branch of this wild, untamed, infinite multiverse where literally anything that can happen does? Or is reality itself a much more selective process, a carefully curated collection of worlds chosen by the fundamental laws of probability? This new theory suggests it's the latter, and that is a truly wild thought.